Hi there, and apologies for taking so long to produce this video. The truth is that while I had the Land Cruiser in the workshop for a few repairs, I decided to just do as much as I could while it was on the jacks and I could get underneath it easier. Not that it's any very difficult to get underneath the Land Cruiser anyway, it's so high. But yeah, I have, in the meantime, as I said in the last video, I've done the steering box, the clutch master cylinder. I also found that during a trip one night to a nearby town with one of my friends driving in a vehicle behind me, he told me that I'd given him a heart attack on the road because my reverse lights keep coming on at night. So after 3 nights battling with the circuit, after having tested the harness, after having tested the switch, and not been able to find out why these lights would come on by themselves, but not when the vehicle's in reverse, I eventually found that whoever assembled this gearbox, I assume that they'd rebuilt the gearbox at some point, they put the reverse switch, screwed it into the wrong place on the gearbox. Well, once I discovered that, it took me 5 minutes to fix it. But while busy with that, I found that the little switch that brings on the light on the dashboard that tells you that you are in four-wheel drive, there was a wire broken off on that, so I spent a little bit of time underneath the vehicle stripping the plug, soldering the wire on again and putting that on, and now we have all the indication lights and everything else working perfectly on the dash, and my reverse lights are working properly. So stand by for a tour of my Land Cruiser, my 1992 1HDT powered Toyota Land Cruiser 80 series. Okay, here we go, as promised. Short tour of the 1992 Toyota Land Cruiser 80 series that I will be using to travel from Johannesburg to Port Elizabeth, and then to all the way up to the Angolan border through Namibia, along the border eastwards, and then all the way back down south again, back to Port Elizabeth and back to Johannesburg. Probably 10.5 to 11,000 kilometers all told. Okay, so this is the engine side, the business end of the vehicle. This Land Cruiser started off as a 1992 normally aspirated, what they call a 1HZ engine powered Land Cruiser, and since then the previous owner replaced the 1HZ motor with what they call the 1HDT, which is a slightly upgraded factory turbo version of the same engine. Slightly more power, and yeah, very nice engine. Anyway, the conversion wasn't the tidiest of conversions, but I am slowly correcting certain things. For instance, yesterday I found that the glow plugs on this engine, although it has been starting first time every time, even when the engine is ice cold, I found yesterday that the glow plugs weren't even connected. I connected up the glow plug relay and everything else yesterday. I found them disconnected. Anyway, that is the business end. As you can see, the vehicle is equipped with 2 batteries, dual batteries. I think they came out of the factory like this, a lot of them. I've rerouted a few cables and everything else, and you can see the blue cable running in front of the radiator at the moment, or to the rear of it. That used to be routed underneath this valance in the front here. I rerouted it where I can see it, where I can see that it's not getting chafed or anything, because if that cable touches or gets worn through and touches on the bodywork, there are no fuses on this cable. There should actually be, and I might in future install a fuse on it, but if that cable shorts out, there's sure to be a fire. Anyway, I've also started in the meantime installing a 12-volt system in the back. As you can see here, I have these are the other cables that I've installed that go through to the back. The reason why it's not connected to anything at the moment is I am waiting on fuses and a whole lot of other stuff, a fuse panel and everything else. I will show you the DC to DC charger that I will be connecting it to in the back. But yes, the cables are in all the way through to the back, and I'm just waiting on some stuff to arrive, and then I'll carry on with that installation. But let's carry on with the tour of the vehicle. As you can see, a decent set of tires, came with a decent set of tires. I didn't have to buy new ones. BF Goodrich's 265, 75 16s. Very nice set of rims, standard rims for the car. I might at some point change to 15-inch rims and slightly bigger tires, just because I think it looks good. But right now that is definitely not a priority. Suspension wise, we have TJM 2-inch lift with TJM shock absorbers and everything else that goes with it. Seems to be very nice. I've driven a fair bit in the car and it handles very well actually. Interior of the vehicle, still very nice. As you can see, the seat covers are protecting the seats, and they actually need a wash. I haven't washed them since I bought the car yet, and as you can see, all the hairs, my cat has been sleeping in the car while I've been working on it. Dashboard is in perfect condition, no cracks or anything. As you can see, I have a dashboard protector now from 4x4 Assist from my friend Mark. If you ever need some decent dashboard protectors, he makes some decent stuff. I was in fact the first one that he made to fit this shape dash. All the others that he had made were for the later model, and he specifically made a template for my vehicle, or on my vehicle, while I waited, and produced this dashboard cover for me. So if you want one from Mark at 4x4 Assist, his number is 073 425 2938. He's in Roodepoort in Johannesburg. And by the way, if any of my listeners can tell me how to get rid of silicone spray on the dashboard, you'll see the dashboard protector is equipped with Velcro strips that stick to the dashboard. It's a two-way tape that sticks into the dashboard, and unfortunately the previous owner thought he'd do me a favor and clean this car very nicely, and what he did was he had his son spray silicone spray all over the dashboard, which looks very nice, but unfortunately nothing sticks to it. And unfortunately as well, you don't get rid of silicone very easily. So if any of you have a way or a product, or know of a way or a product that will get rid of it, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know, so that I can stick this thing down permanently so it doesn't move around while I'm driving. As you can see, everything works. We've got a little bit of a homemade little console in the front there. I decided to leave that in there until I can replace it with something better. I think that was the previous owner's attempt at a center console, which works I suppose, but doesn't look very good. We have the factory center console, which is refrigerated. Actually works very well. It will freeze, it will make ice. It has a little compartment for ice trays, which unfortunately I don't have. I wish I could find the factory ice trays for it, but unfortunately I don't have them. I'll have to find some other little plastic container that matches it closely. As you can see, that's the interior of it, little fridge, and I'm not going to show you, but to the front side there's a little compartment where it makes ice. On top of that, we also have the console. As you can see, COVID gloves and mask, which I don't use. That's the front side. The seats underneath are still in very good condition. Let me go through to the back side. As you can see, the back seats are covered with a hide. I'm not sure what animal this came off of, but the previous owner decided it was a good idea to put a leather hide over the entire seat, which has protected it very well. I don't know how long it's been on the vehicle. As you can see, seats are in very nice condition underneath, although a little bit dirty. I'm not going to worry about that. That is it. You can see my cargo barrier at the back. At the moment it is temporarily installed. You can see it's held on there on the far end, far corner, with cable ties to the handle. That will be mounted with a steel strap that piggybacks and picks up the handle screws, and then will be attached to the grid, so it will be held fast. The 12-volt system will also be attached on a board to the grid of the cargo barrier behind that far side headrest. So I'll show you that in a minute when I get to that side. So that is the rear of the vehicle, all in very good condition. As I said, the seat covers are pretty dirty. They need a wash. They will probably be coming off after I make this video. Rear wheels, same again. All the same age tires, all the same. They are a set of KO2s, if I'm not mistaken. There you can see the rear of the vehicle. The reason why I don't have the spare wheel on the carrier at the moment is because it doesn't fit into the garage with the spare wheel on the back. As it is with this bracket as it is, I can get about 10 millimeters gap between the back of these nuts and the door, and it just fits in. So yeah, I can take this, so we can just open the rear door. This is the rear. As you can see, it's a little bit untidy at the moment. I've been doing some work. The jack and everything, and jack and tools go into that compartment there. The plastic bag has got all my brand new spare radiator hoses and belts and everything else in it. There's the new shackles and everything else. There's a spare wheel lying in the back. As you can see, that's an older KO, also BF Goodrich KO, slightly older tire, but in very good condition still. And there you can see the 12-volt cables that come out the back there. I haven't drilled any holes. I don't want to do too much modification to the paneling of the car, so I've taken the ashtray, which I will never use, just taken that out and brought the cables out through the hole that the ashtray left. If I ever decide to take the 12-volt system out, if I ever sell the car, I can always just put the ashtray back and clip it in. No harm, no foul. It has, as you saw in the front sides, it has a decent little, although old, it has a decent sound system in it, and I'm sure that will serve me pretty well on the road to Namibia. Yeah, that is the back sides of the car. I'm just going to go around and I'll just show you where the wires actually came out. I'll open the back of the vehicle and I will take the seat back. As you can see there's the hole where the ashtray came out, and there's where the leisure battery will be placed, and those are the cables that will be connected to the board that will sit right here. Not that you can see very well with the glare, but that is where they will be. When we go to the driver's side, same again, dashboard's in good condition. I see the mats have been replaced, not a bad job. I'm happy with them. For a 1990 model vehicle, no complaints at all. I've been through all the electric windows. When I got it, only the driver's side window would go down but wouldn't go up. The rest of them didn't want to work. They were all gunned up and tight. I have stripped and serviced all of them all the way around, and everything works fine now. There's the sound system that the vehicle's equipped with. I've got a 12-volt USB output there with a voltage reading on it, and that tells me that I've left the accessories on. There we go. There's the refrigerated console from the other side. You've seen the inside of it. And yeah, that is basically a tour of the cruiser that will be used to take myself and my son on a trip to Namibia in about 6 to 8 weeks' time. As you can see, the vehicle is also equipped with a snorkel. Not that I'm going to be, or not that I'm planning to drive through any deep water crossings or anything, but it should help if there's any serious dust if I'm driving behind other vehicles. Keep the air intake out of the dust. So that's the Land Cruiser that I will be using. As you can see, it has a light bar on the front. Apparently Namibia does not allow light bars, so I will be taking that off and replacing it with 2 cheap halogen spotlights for the trip. After I come back, I've decided I might even put the light bar onto the roof rack. I will show you the roof rack in another video, and then put a decent set of LED spotlights on the front here. I think it'll actually look better, but we'll see. As you can see, I don't have any winch on the ARB front bar. The front bar is mounted very securely onto the chassis, and there's some recovery points underneath it, and as you can see, it also has places for a high lift jack, which I will never be using. I don't like those things at all. As far as I'm concerned, they're dangerous, can hurt people, but the bull bar does have places where one can plug in. So that is the 1992 Toyota Land Cruiser, fitted with a 1HDT factory turbo engine, and this is going to take me to Namibia.